was the last verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 6, entitled The Demigods and Demons Declare a Truce. Verse number 39. Avaropya girim skandhat Suparna padatam varaha Yayo jalanta utsrijya Harina sa visarjitaha Avaropya girim skandhat Suparna patatam varaha Yayo jalanta utsrijya Harina sa visarjitaha. Yes. Avaropya girim skandhat Suparna patatam varaha Yayo jalanta usrijya Suparna patatam varaha Avaropya girim skandhat Word to a translation responsibly, please. Avaropya, unloading. Girim, the mountain. Skandhat, from his shoulder. Suparnaha, Garuda. Patatam, of all the birds. Varaha, the biggest or most powerful. Yayo, went. Jala ante, where the water is. Utsrijya, placing. Harina, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Saha, he Garuda. Visarjitaha, discharged from that place. Thereafter, Garuda, the chief of birds, unloaded Mandara mountain from his shoulder and brought it near the water. Then he was asked by the Lord to leave that place, and he left. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Garuda was asked by the Lord to leave that place because the snake Vasuki, who was to be used as the rope for churning, could not go there in the presence of Garuda. Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, is not a vegetarian. He eats big snakes. Vasuki, being a great snake, would be natural food for Garuda, the chief of birds. Lord Vishnu therefore asked Garuda to leave so that Vasuki could be brought to churn the ocean with Mandara mountain, which was to be used as the churning rod. These are the wonderful arrangements of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing takes place by accident. Carrying Mandara mountain on the back of a bird and putting it in its right position might be difficult for anyone, whether demigod or demon. But for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible as shown by his pastime. The Lord had no difficulty lifting the mountain with one hand, and Garuda, his carrier, carried all the demons and demigods together by the grace of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is known as Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic power, because of his omnipotence. If he likes, he can make anything lighter than cotton or heavier than the universe. Those who do not believe in the activities of the Lord cannot explain how things happen. Using the word like accident, they take shelter of ideas that are unbelievable. Nothing is accidental. Everything is done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the Lord himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita 9:10. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Whatever actions and reactions occur within the cosmic manifestation all take place under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, because the demons do not understand the potency of the Lord, when wonderful things are done, the demons think that they are accidental. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 8th canto, 6th chapter of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam entitled The Demigods and Demons Declare a Truce. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Nusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpadarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhutair Mahatbhir Ima Puro Vibhu Nirmaya Shete Yadamusha Purusha Bhunkte Gunan Shodashatmaka Solankrishishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me. Hare Krishna. Here we can hear the glories of Garuda as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Garuda is very unique. Here, Garuda is addressed as Suparnaha. Generally, Parna means the wings. He has very huge wings, very powerful, so that he can carry the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So you need to think about the power of Garuda. He can carry the Supreme Lord. And so, it is not at all difficult for him to carry first all the demigods and all the demons for the churning of the milk ocean. So he carried everyone, no problem. He also carried Mandara mountain on his back. As it is mentioned, he could place the Mandara mountain on his back, he could fly, he could unload it. Think about it, we have our market van, load and unload, right? Similarly, the same thing Garuda could perform. So you have to imagine the strength of Garuda. Not only that, it is not just strength. Garuda, when his wings are flapping, something gets emanated from the wings of Garuda. And what is that? Vedic mantras. Can you imagine? Somebody is Garuda flapping his wings and the Vedic mantras are coming. So this is the power of Garuda. So we know, he knows all Vedas. He is powerful, being the servant of the Supreme Lord, and at the same time he is very knowledgeable. And what is the speed of Garuda? He is so fast. The Lord Narayan, Vishnu, is situated in Vaikuntha Loka, and when the Gajendra pastime happened in the heavenly realm, it happened, then the Lord had to immediately appear. There is no delay possible. Isn't it? Train get delayed. It is not possible because Gajendra is losing all his strength. Because of course, he is a land animal and the crocodile is eating. So now he finished all the strength, and you can imagine only few verses. How many verses? We read the verse, word to word, translation, purport, then only something we understand. So we went through maybe 30 verses or so. That took some time. But just reciting verses which are coming from his previous life, he's just speaking out, he's just chanting out without much difficulty. It doesn't take much time. Within a short period, the Lord straightaway appeared from Vaikuntha Loka to the material world. It is very, very far. Even if you travel with any aeroplane, you cannot reach there. That much distance is there. Even from here to go to India, it takes how many hours? Even if it's a straight flight, how many? Maybe 9 or 10 hours, right? If you go, minimum. But this is from spiritual world to material world, and the Lord can appear just by thinking, let me be here, he can come to the material world. But no, he wants to take the service of Garuda, so he flies on top of Garuda and he reaches to the material world. So you can imagine how much speed Garuda had. Even so, the Lord was not satisfied with the speed of Garuda. Garuda almost reached there. Then the Lord left Garuda and he came and saved Gajendra. So that is the eagerness of the Supreme Lord to save his devotees. So Garuda is great in many respects. However, he has a unique feature. What is that? Apparently, he eats meat. He is not vegetarian. I remember His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was giving a class in Radha Gopinath temple in Chowpatty many years back. And one brahmachari asked this question to Maharaj. How come Garuda is not following four regulatory principles? Why is he eating meat? So Maharaj said, he is the carrier of the Supreme Lord and we cannot question his behavior. Do we have the right to question? No. He's Garuda. And he said, since you questioned the integrity of Garuda, you have to pay obeisances unto Garuda and ask for forgiveness. Because if you go to Radha Govinda temple, there is a deity of Garuda at the back. Generally, in all Vishnu temples, traditionally, there will be a deity of Garuda, isn't it? If you go to, especially if you go to South India, you can see Garuda Stambha will be there. A big post, and on top of Garuda will be there. Any Vishnu temple, if there is a pole for the flag staff, if there is a flag staff on top, there will be Garuda will be there. Jagannath temple is also there. Garuda is the carrier. And if you go to Mayapur, we have a Garuda deity. So if you go to any traditional temples facing Vishnu, there will be Garuda. So that is the position of Garuda. So we cannot question the character of Garuda. It is beyond. So he asked this brahmachari, you have to pay obeisances and ask for forgiveness. So this brahmachari was sitting like this, like I'm sitting now here. He said, not later, now. So in the class, he had to go all the way to the back, pay obeisances to Garuda, ask for forgiveness, and come back and sit. Can you see? So this is the position of Garuda. We shouldn't question the character of Garuda. So Garuda is a very great personality. And whoever questioned in this way, they will be in trouble. This is what happened to which Muni? Saubhari. Saubhari Muni. What happened to Saubhari Muni? He started thinking, all this fish in Yamuna are approaching me and taking my shelter and requesting for protection. Because Garuda all of a sudden comes and eat all of them. So they wanted to save their life and approached Saubhari Muni. And Saubhari Muni, and still Saubhari Muni asked Garuda, but Garuda was coming and eating. He tried to forbid, but Garuda didn't follow. Why? It was his natural food. It's natural food. Then there is no point asking a tiger to be a vegetarian, for example. It's their natural food. Whatever is natural, they eat. It is not our natural food. That's the point. And our consciousness will be affected. And then finally what happened? He dared to curse Garuda, the carrier of the Supreme Lord, a pure devotee. So that if you cannot eat, that curse. So that is a heavy curse, you know. And then what happened? Then what happened to Saubhari Muni? Because of his offense unto the lotus feet of Garuda, he fell down. Can you see? This is such a great offense, to curse a pure devotee. That too, not to have his natural food for sustenance. It is very basic. So in that way, Saubhari Muni fell down, and we know later Saubhari Muni also learned his lesson. Later he fell down, he enjoyed, etc., etc. Then he also became a devotee. So if you go to Vrindavan, you can go to the place where Saubhari Muni is present. There is a deity of Saubhari Muni sitting, a beautiful place, not too far, it's in Vrindavan itself, where Saubhari Muni was performing his tapasya. So you can go to that place. So this is amazing. So Saubhari is also a devotee now. He is also a devotee. So that is the mercy of the Lord. But at the same time, we need to see that Garuda is a great personality, being the carrier of the Supreme Lord. And so he was able to do activities which may seems to be accidental. So if you ask anyone about carrying mountain on the back of a bird, stop mythology, right? Stop speculation. That's what people say. Or Krishna lifted Govardhan with his left hand, with his pinky finger for 7 days and 7 nights. People say, forget it, isn't it? So anything, and then especially the word accidental is used when something which is unexplainable according to current logic. Then the word is used accidental. So that is applicable to anything, including creation, right? Creation of this universe. The answer is accidental. Creation of life, accidental. Why things are happening, accidental, right? If you ask any big question, the answer is, what is the answer? There is no answer. So, because the answer is ignorance. So there is no answer. So since cannot accept ignorance, then some nice words have to be discovered. And one of those words is accidental. Chance, by chance, accidental. According to the probability. Isn't it? These are the different words being used. Still we are finding out. Research is under progress. Any time the truth can be revealed. Isn't it? Many times if you get into any scientific articles, we have found such and such thing in such planet or in this galaxy, and we are very close to the truth. But we have been close to the truth for a very long time. Still we haven't found truth about anything. So that is the current status. And that's why this word accidental is not acceptable. It is just like this. If you ask a child how this fan is rotating, child doesn't know. Do you know how a fan is rotating? Do you know? Aradhi, do you know how a fan is rotating? Any idea? No. See? She doesn't know. But it can look magical if you think about it. Isn't it? Someone who doesn't know, you just turn on that button and the fan starts rotating. Isn't it? Maximum you know there is electricity. Yes, there has to be electricity. If you turn off the power, it's going to go off. At least we know only that much. But someone who knows about the physics behind it, it's not a big deal. Isn't it? There is an electric field is created. Then from there the magnetic field is created. And because of the interaction of the magnetic field, there is a rotation. A rotary motion is induced. So it is not very difficult. But if you don't know, then it is magical. That's what happened. So the same principle is applicable even in terms of this magnificent yogic feats. When we hear about the yogic feats, it can look really a speculation or an imagination, right? A yogi can become smaller than the smallest. It can become small. It's called anima. Anima, lakhima. It can become smaller, it can become bigger. So how is it possible? It is explained in the 11th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Don't read 11th canto for this purpose. I don't think you can become smaller than the smallest, okay? Yogis can. Smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. Can create one's own planet. One can control others' mind and bring everyone under control. One can prapti, one can bring any object from anywhere to here. Srila Prabhupada says one yogi, in his own experience, a yogi brought pomegranate from Afghanistan with the branches. Can you imagine? With the branches. He broke the branches and the pomegranate, fresh pomegranate from Afghanistan, and gave. In Calcutta, in hot summer, there's no pomegranate. But he brought from Afghanistan. So a yogi can do all these magical feats. It is explained. There are yogic processes. However, all these yogic processes are accepting the Supreme Lord and meditating on the Supreme Lord. This is a material desire. It's a siddhi. But they are getting this siddhi by the mercy of the Lord. The Lord is siddhida. Siddhida means one who bestows siddhi. So even a yogi can do all these kind of things. And a very small yogic siddhi, which are very preliminary, secondary, they are like reading the mind, walking on the water. They are it is considered just a small thing. Insignificant. Exactly, insignificant. We went for many devotees went for one of the exhibitions, and from one organization, they had a girl blindfolded girl, actually blindfolded, thick black and blindfolded. Without seeing, she was able to walk and she was able to see things. She was blindfolded, she can see things. And she can tell what problems you have in your body. She will tell, okay, your lower back you have some ache, upper back some problem, kidney some problem. Can you see some vision? So now, has it to do anything with spirituality? No, nothing to do with spirituality, isn't it? It is just a minor material siddhi. It is like one yogi was able to produce fire from the mouth in Himalayas. It's a minor siddhi. And this yogi was asked how long it took to develop the siddhi. He told 12 years. 12 years. Now, a spiritualist asked the question, to produce some fire, how long it takes? You take a matchbox, you light it, that's it. Because if you need fire, you can have fire. Why do you want to produce fire from the mouth? What is the point? Similarly, walking on the water. You may get some followers, but you will not be able to serve Krishna. Spiritual perfection is not possible. One will have to again come back to the material world. So this is how the world is operating. So in other words, even the smaller siddhis, they are real. So from an atheistic scientific perspective, they may look like imaginary, but it has its own basis because they are dealing with subtle energies. The scientific realm doesn't have access to subtle energies. They are very gross. Grossly we can study things, but about the subtle energy and the subtle science is completely unknown. How much complications do we have for this gross material body? We have a doctor here. So it is very complicated. You need to go MBBS, how many years? 5 years at least. After that, intern for 1 or 2 years. Then specialization. Then after that also, you don't know everything about the body. You know something about the body, but not everything. This is about gross body. Then if we speak about subtle body, how complicated is subtle body? We generally say mind, intelligence, false ego. Yeah, they are different layers. But on top of that, there is prana, there is chakra. There are so many other different kinds of layers to the subtle body. So many layers. And we don't even have access to that. So one needs qualification to access a subtle realm. The gross body one can access by medical qualification. Nobody is going to ask, are you following 4 regulative principles? But when it comes to subtle elements, one needs qualities. It is not completely tamasic. One cannot do tamasic and rajasic activities and be a knower of subtle energies or a knower of manipulation of subtle energies. Not possible. Like there are people who had subtle energies. They can cure different kinds of diseases through subtle means. Mundane. But the restriction is that they cannot do it for making money. If they do that with those kind of motive, they will lose the power. Can you see? So it is not all so easy. So there is subtle realm altogether. In Bhagavatam, we also hear that you can control a poisonous snake and the venom by administering mantras. Possible. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, one time he said, he had a direct experience of a person who was able to save people from snake bites using mantra. He will chant some mantras and then they will be cured. Possible. So even to this age, even the current time, yes, these kind of things are possible. But we don't know about it, and then we consider they are just simply a magic show. So, but the point is, when it comes to the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are beyond the modes of material nature. And so, anything is possible. The Lord can do anything because the Lord is not restricted by material energy or material logic. So material logic is not applicable to the Lord. Andantarastam paramanu chayantarastam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. How can you understand? He is present in every atom, in between the atom, and in every universe. Can you understand? Even beyond our imagination, because we cannot imagine all the atoms. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That Lord can only be understood through the process of bhakti. There is no other way. In the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, great scholar Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he couldn't accept the glories of Lord Chaitanya. He couldn't accept that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He could only understand that he is a great saintly person. At least that he could understand. Nowadays people cannot even understand that. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he could understand that his platform is very high, because since he fell unconscious in front of Lord Jagannath, he did this scientific experiment. According to the Shastra, he took a cotton thread and he put it next to the nose and he analyzed how the cotton thread is moving, the movement of the cotton thread. So considering the movement of the cotton thread, he concluded this person is alive, but not as a normal person. This is a symptom of ecstasy. He could see the ecstatic symptoms in the body of Lord Chaitanya and in the breathing. So there are scientific experiments like this by the scholars of Shastra. So it is possible to understand who is ecstatic. In ISKCON we use this word very easily. Ecstatic. Everything is very ecstatic. Prasadam, very ecstatic. Kirtan, ecstatic. Yes, these are ecstasies, but they are not real ecstasies. They can be reflections of the ecstasies at best. They are not the real ecstasies. Real ecstasies means Ashta Sattvika Bhavas. So they are the external characterization of the internal moods of ecstasy of a devotee in connection to the Supreme Lord. Ashta Sattvika Bhavas. So 8 kinds of symptoms. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was aware of it. He could understand he's a great devotee who is manifesting Ashta Sattvika Bhavas. But he couldn't accept Lord Chaitanya as a Supreme Lord. That's why he invited Lord Chaitanya, you are a young sannyasi, just 24 years old. Can you imagine? A sannyasi just 24 years old, and is he the same as Krishna? Yes. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Yes. Krishna is known as Sarva Saundarya Sangraha. Sarva Saundarya Sangraha. What is the meaning of that? The all beauty that you can see in this world, if you put everything together and beyond, is the beauty of Krishna. Sarva Saundarya Sannivesha. Sannivesha means conglomeration of all the beauties, combined together, mixed together. And beyond is the beauty of Krishna. So can you imagine a 24-year-old sannyasi who is the all attractive? So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very attracted seeing Lord Chaitanya, and he said, I want to help you. You are a sentimentalist chanting and dancing in ecstasy. I want to teach you Vedanta so that you will not fall down. This is the qualification of a Mayavadi. What is the qualification? They have to enjoy meditating on Vedanta Sutra. Very dry, but they have to enjoy. Then only they can remain as a sannyasi. Vedanta Sutreshu Ramantaha. They have to enjoy Vedanta Sutra. For us, very dry. Sutra is like, you have to enjoy the formulas in physics. It will be very difficult. There are many equations. Now, if someone asks you, okay, you read and you enjoy all these equations. For most of the people, not possible. If you give the meaning, at least we can understand. But just meditating on the equations and, relishing, not possible. So this is what a Mayavadi has to do. So he said, I will teach you and then you enjoy within. When Sarvabhaumacharya's brother-in-law, Gopinath-Acharya, who was a devotee, when he heard that, he said, how can you do that? How can you teach the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Vedescha sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. Who is the Vedanta krit? Means who is the author of Vedanta Sutra? That is the Supreme Lord. Vedavit, one who knows Vedas. That is also the Supreme Lord. And you want to teach Vedanta Sutra to that Vedanta krit? He became very angry. And he said, he is the Supreme Lord. Sarvabhaumacharya will not listen. He started quoting Shastra. He started saying, the Supreme Lord doesn't appear in the age of Kali Yuga. So Sarvabhaumacharya knew Shastra, not like the current so-called scholars. Bhattacharya told, according to Shastra, the Supreme Lord doesn't appear in Kali Yuga as an incarnation. Gopinath-Acharya said, yes, it is true. And also he quoted Bhagavatam. What is that? He is Triyuga. In 7th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, chapter 9, prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, he uses the Lord is Triyuga, one who appears only in 3 yugas. So, how can that Lord appear now? Gopinath said, the meaning is that he is Triyuga as Leela-avatar, but not as Yuga-avatar. Yuga-avatar appears in every yuga. That is the meaning of Yuga-avatar. And so, Lord Chaitanya is Yuga-avatar and he is hidden incarnation. Channa Kalau. He has appeared as Channa, Prachanna, means covered incarnation. Still, Sarvabhaumacharya and his disciples couldn't accept or understand the personality of Lord Chaitanya. Why? Because they didn't have bhakti. To start with, faith. So he said, Gopinath-Acharya said, this is the most unfortunate position of yours. You are a dry speculator. You are a dry speculator. You know all Vedanta Sutra. But you don't have one thing. What is that? You don't have bhakti, unfortunately. And so you cannot understand. He said, Prasada leshanugrahita evahi. If you have lesha means salpa, a little bit. Prasada lesha, if you have a little bit of mercy. Anugrahita evahi, janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno. You will understand the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya ekopi chiram vichanvan. But you will not understand. Anya, others. Chiram vichanvan. Vichanvan means searching. All who are searching, Mayavadis are searching. And Gyanis are searching in all the scriptures. That is never ending. And the scientists are searching through all different kinds of speculative means and mundane empirical experimentation. Still, they cannot come to the conclusion. Why? Krishna's Maya is Duratyaya, insurmountable. So, how long scientists will do these experiments and speculate? Eternally. Still they will not come to the conclusion. It's not possible. Why? Mama Maya Duratyaya. It is very difficult to overcome. So once we are under the clutches of Maya, then we'll be in Maya. Unless and until one gets the mercy of the Lord. So this is what Gopinath told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Janadi tattvam bhagavan mahimno na achanye ekopi chiram vichanyan. Chiram means eternally. You can search eternally through Vedanta for him and through scientific means for the scientists. Still, one will not be able to understand the Lord. So this is the position. And that's why they say everything is accidental. With accidental theory, only accidents will happen. That is a disaster. That's what we can see in this world. There are so many disasters. One cannot come to any conclusion. So we need to understand, as Bhagavad Gita says, Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Maya adhyakshena. Not only in the scientific theory, even in the Vedic followers, there are atheists. Sankhya, atheistic Sankhya. It is atheistic. They talk about everything but the Supreme Lord. Atheistic Sankhya, they will talk about Prakriti, the material energy. They speak about the Prakriti, they speak about the Purusha. Who is the Purusha? No. For the atheistic Sankhya, who is the Purusha? Yeah, the Jiva. That's it. So that is the Purusha. And so they come up to 24 elements. 24 elements, that's it. 24 material elements and 125, which is Jiva, right? They will only come up to there. And they have the whole theory. They talk about karma, they talk about this, that, everything based on atheistic Sankhya. They also cannot understand about Krishna. They present everything, but they also don't have the answer about creation. No answer about creation. So that is addressed. Bhagavad Gita, being Vedanta, addresses. Vedanta addresses what is the source. That is the significance of Vedanta compared to other Vedic theories. That is, talk about the Creator. And that is given very clearly. That is Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Hetuna Nena Kaunteya Jagat Viparivartate. Very clearly mentioned. Maya Adhyakshena. Under my superintendence. Krishna makes it very clear. So this is very significant. And if you miss that point, then the whole Vedic literature loses their significance. Similarly, all the scientific theories lose their significance. So if we have theistic science, that is acceptable. Because many scientists are devotees to some degree. That is acceptable. But when they turn atheistic, then it's a big problem. One time, some devotees were criticizing all the scientists. And Srila Prabhupada said, no, don't criticize all of them. No, we are against atheistic science. If somebody is theistic, then we don't criticize them. So that is the point. Now, in a couple of days' time, one of the biggest celebration or the biggest celebration of the year is approaching. That is Janmashtami. It is an event which has universal significance. Not just significance here. We may think it is only significant here among the devotee community. No. It has universal significance because it is a universal event. The Lord appears only once in a day of Brahma. Once in a day of Brahma. We are talking about trillions of years, right? Billions of years. Yeah. Such a long period. And in that one time, Lord Krishna personally appears. Otherwise, his incarnations, his expansions appear in this world. But he appears only once in a day of Brahma. So we are talking about 4 yugas together, 1 Divya Yuga and 1000 Divya Yugas. 1 Divya Yuga has, as we know, Satya, Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, like the 1,000 Divya Yugas, and one time Krishna appears. And so it is a universal event. When the Lord appeared, the whole environment was set ready to receive the Supreme Personality of Godhead. People do speak about what is the birth time. We want to calculate our horoscope. But when Krishna appeared, all the planets aligned themselves in the best possible way to receive the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such kind of a combination of planets, not possible. So, all the planets were receiving the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead. All the environment, all the demigods. Mumuchur muneyo deva, sumanamsi sumanyuta, mandam mandam jaladhara, jagarjur anusagaram. Mumuchur muneyo devaha. Mumuchu. They released, they showered. Munayo. Muneha means great sages. Then devaha, all the demigods. It's a universal affair. So all the demigods, including Brahma, were aware of the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They knew the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They assured Mother Devaki, don't worry. Dishtyambate kukshigada parampuman. Dishtya, by the good fortune, Amba, oh mother, kukshigada parampuman. In your womb, kukshi means the womb. Gata parapuman. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in your womb. Amshena sakshat bhagavan bhavayana. Amshena sakshat. He is not alone. When Krishna appears, within Krishna, all other incarnations are there, and especially Lord Balaram. So here specifically mentioning, he is not coming alone. He is coming along Lord Balaram, who appeared. We had the celebration just a few days back. Amshena sakshat bhagavan bhavayana. Ma bhut bhayam bhoja patar mumursho. Ma bhut bhayam. Don't be afraid of whom? Bhojapati. Who is Bhojapati? Kamsa. Oh mother, don't be afraid of Kamsa. Mumurshoho. Mumurshoho. What is the meaning of Mumurshoho? Means who is desiring to get killed. Who is desiring his own death. That is Kamsa. They understood. So the demigods, they are taking part in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Because many of the demigods appeared as different personalities in Yadu dynasty. Right? So, ma bhut bhayam bhoja patar mumusho. Gopta yadunam bhavita tavatmajaha. And bhavita means in the future. Your son will be the Gopta. Gopta means the protector. Your son will be the protector of the Yadu dynasty. So don't be afraid. So the demigods, before the appearance of Krishna, gave assurance to Mother Devaki. Dishtyambate, oh mother, Dishtyambate. So in that way, demigods already knew. That's why Mumuchur Muneyo Devaha Sumanamsi. Sumanamsi means flowers. Mudanyutaha, very happily. They were overjoyed and they started showering flowers from the sky. Does that happen in the appearance of any other personalities? No. Only when the Supreme Lord appears. And can materialistic people understand or accept this? No. Mandam mandam jaladhara jagarjur anusagaram. And the clouds started rumbling, producing a musical accompaniment as Krishna appeared. They were the great sages, they chanted, they showered flower, and the musical accompaniment was given by the clouds. They were rumbling. Anusagaram, following the ocean. The ocean has its waves producing sound. Similarly, the clouds were producing sound. Nishiche tama udbhute. Nishiche means that in the dead of the night. Tama udbhute, in very, very dark. Nishiche, that is referring to midnight. That's why we will have the celebration The midnight darshan is very special, more special, right? With 12 o'clock, the midnight darshan is the most special. That is Nishiche. We are waiting for that Nishiche. Tamo Udbhute. When it is very dark. So we have the lamp lit, ghee lamps lit and the lights off. And that darshan is the most beautiful. And we can keep that darshan for the whole year in our heart. Isn't it? So we had to get ready for that. We had to prepare our mind for that. This is Nishiche Tamo Udbhute Jayamane Janardane. When Janardan appeared. Janardan appeared. There are different meanings to Janardan. One is because great devotees were requesting to the Supreme Lord for his appearance. So Janardana, one meaning is because the Lord appeared because of the request of his devotees. Jayamane Janardane. Devakyam Devarupinyam Vishnu Sarva Guhasheha. Devakyam. He appeared from Devarupinyam Devakyam. Who is, or Vishnu Rupinyam Devakyam. Meaning Devaki, he appeared from Mother Devaki, who he is of the same quality as Vishnu. Krishna cannot appear from normal people. The mother and father has to be of the same quality. That is Devarupinyam. Vishnu Sarva Guhasheha. So in other words, the word Vishnu, the meaning of Vishnu itself is Vish and Shnuch. Combined, it becomes Vishnu. It means one who has the habit of residing everywhere. That is the meaning of Vishnu. Vish means to enter. Ishnuch means, that suffix means one who has that habit, habituated. So the Lord who is habituated to situating everywhere, he is always everywhere. That is the meaning of Vishnu. That is actually etymological meaning of Vishnu. So not normal. Vishnu means who is there everywhere. Like Jishnu. Have you heard the name Jishnu? Jishnu means one who has the habit of winning all the time. That is Jishnu. So Arjuna's another name is Jishnu. And the Lord's another name is also Jishnu. Because they win all the invincible. So that is Jishnu. So Vishnu Sarva Guhasheha is further explained. Sarva Guhasheha, who is situated in the heart of everyone. In that sense, for him, is it difficult to appear in the womb of Mother Devaki? No. Not difficult. So he entered from the heart of Vasudev to the heart of Mother Devaki, and then he appeared through the womb also. So there was the pregnancy was there, mother as the womb was there. So Vishnu Sarva Guhasheha. Avirasit yatha prachyam dishinduriva pushkala. Avirasit means he appeared. Avirasit means he incarnated. And an analogy is given, yatha prachyam dishi induriva. Prachyam dishi pushkala indu iva. Prachyam dishi means in the eastern direction. Prachi means eastern. Dishi direction. Prachyam dishim indu iva. Indu means moon. What kind of moon? Pushkala indu iva. Pushkala means full moon, complete. Pushkala. Kala means path. Pushkala means all the kalas are there. That's why Pushkala indu iva. So the Lord appeared just like the full moon in the eastern direction. How is it possible? Why such an analogy is used? Because all other incarnations are also Supreme Lord. But they don't manifest all potencies. So they are called Kala. Kala means, we use the term Chandra Kala. Right? Chandra Kala. Chandra Kala means the phases of moon is called Chandra Kala. Part of the moon. But the moon, full moon is there always. But only partly it is producing, it is becoming visible. Similarly, all other incarnations are partial in their manifestation of potency. Whereas the Lord is supreme. He manifests in its completeness. That's why the Lord is compared to Chandra. And also the Lord appeared in moon dynasty, Chandra Vamsha. That is another reason Chandra is used. And so even though the Lord appeared in Ashtami, he appeared on Ashtami, 8th day, still the moon was complete. It was a full moon. To show that, okay, I am very grateful to you because you appeared in my dynasty. And so Chandra, he appeared as full moon even on the 8th day, not on Purnima. So this is the speciality. So that is going to happen in a couple of days' time, on Tuesday. So let us prepare internally to participate in Janmashtami, to do service and to please the Lord. Hare Krishna. So in conclusion, we discussed the glories of Garuda. We heard about nothing is accidental. Accidental means lack of knowledge, ignorance. And also we heard about the significance of Janmashtami, which is going to come. Hare Krishna. Any quick questions or comments?
Just walking to the temple this morning, I was looking at the moon and the stars.
Yeah.
And I was thinking how they're floating in the sky. It's like atheistic science would say that it's an accident, but we understand it's the mystic potency of the Lord that's holding it there.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating to really experience it.
Thank you. You have?
Hare Krishna, Gopa Prabhu, thank you
Hare
for the
Krishna.
class. I have a question regarding Garudaji's nature. What is his tattva? Is he eternally the same personality serving Krishna, or is it a position like that of Brahmaji that changes?
Yeah, Garuda, he has his eternal presence in the spiritual world as the carrier of the Lord. So, when you know about Vaikuntha Loka, Garuda is an associate, eternal associate of the Lord. So, he's not an ordinary jiva. He is a Nityasiddha. Not only just a Nityasiddha also, eternal associate, being the carrier of the Lord. However, he can his pastime of appearance in this world, about his mother, etc. But they are all expansions. But the original personality is in the spiritual world. So when the eternal personalities, just like the Supreme Lord, when they appear, they may have an expansion appearing in the material world, but they are not from this material world. So they are from the spiritual world. Eternal associate. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So Vaikuntha Loka, there are different associates like, Vikshak Swena and others, who is the commander-in-chief. Like that, there are different associates that are there for Narayan in Vaikuntha. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
So in India, the celebrating Janmashtami on Monday and year it on Tuesday. What is the reason?
Yeah, because we celebrate according to the Tithi. That is the Vedic system. Tithi is, Ashtami is the Tithi. So that Ashtami happens at different times in different places. And that's why we are celebrating on Tuesday. So that day, both Nakshatra is also Rohini, is Ashtami as well as Rohini. Both are combining on that particular day. Generally Ashtami is there, but sometimes even the Nakshatra will also combine. So both are happening here on Tuesday and India on Monday. So that's why there's a difference. After that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you for the nice class. You mentioned how the people with the yogic siddhis, they can do whatever they want. So my question is, I've always wondered why devotees, they don't aspire for these yogic siddhis, because if we can control our mind and desires with these siddhis, won't bhakti become much easier? If so, then why in Vritrasura's pastime is it mentioned that we shouldn't ask for siddhis and liberation?
Yeah. So we can ask for one siddhi. What is that? You told already. What is the siddhi? We want to control the mind, not controlling others' mind. You understand? Yogis want to control others' mind. Our prayer is to control our mind. That's the difference. So you can request Krishna for that siddhi, that let me control my mind so that I can chant Hare Krishna properly. So you can request for that siddhi, no problem. That is within the purview of pure devotion service. But the yogis, they want to control everyone else, the others' minds. That's where the problem is. So that is mundane. Okay, thank you, Mahatma Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for a wonderful class. You are referring about yogis. So that reminded me a story about King Akbar. There was a big pond. It was a winter day and temperature was less than 4 degrees centigrade. And he made one yogi to stand whole night. And the yogi did it. Whole night he was standing. Nobody could even touch that water. And he was standing without any clothes, and 24 hours nearly. So, because king was giving some prize. So when he came out of the pool, the king Akbar wanted to cheat him. He said, no prize. So the council asked why? Because the king said, he was seeing a lamp, a street lamp, at long distance. Prabhupada gave this example.
Yeah.
So that's why he was having heat. He was getting heat from that post. And Birbal was very unhappy with the decision of king. So after 2 days, there was a meeting. Birbal didn't come till about 10 a.m. So king asked why he has not come. So nobody could reply. So king himself went to his house. And he saw that he was cooking khichdi in a big pot, and the fire was very far away. So king asked, why didn't you come to the meeting? So he said, I am trying to cook khichdi, but it's not cooking. So king laughed. Well, if you keep that far, the pot, how will it cook? You are a fool, rascal. So then he understood, oh, he's telling me that why that yogi was not paid the price. So king understood, and next day he called the yogi and he gave the prize.
Yeah.
So this is what we have to see, that yogis can do lots of things, lot of feats, and we should not misunderstand them. So what Prabhupada was saying, that we have to accept it. But as a devotee, we don't want those siddhis.
We want to become bhakti yogi.
That's right.
And come back to Godhead.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
So we don't have to come back to this material world. From this body, we can go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly.
Jai,
Hare
jai.
Krishna.
Jai. Granthra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari.